8-year NFL veteran who was here a couple weeks ago in studio here on the program. How you doing, Geoff?
I'm good. It's another injury in the preseason, man. It's unfortunate.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer. What do you think the Wynn injury means for the offensive line in New England, Geoff?
Well, they lost Nate Soldier, and I know that Wynn was at right tackle, which he had not really played much in his career. I thought he played left, but they got Trent Brown, too, so they put him at left tackle. So it's going to hurt. I mean, New England has had issues the last couple of years of their offensive line. How about this? Tom Brady has basically played, I think I looked this up last season, almost every single game of his career has had either Matt Light or Nate Soldier as his left tackle, minus about 8 games in his career. So he's going to have to get used to playing with new guys up front. And this Isaiah Wynn pick, 23rd overall from Georgia, kid's really good. Unfortunately, he won't have his services this year.
So what do you think Belichick and his offensive line group is doing today? I mean, who do you think they can plug and play here?
They still have, I believe they still have Marcus Cannon there. So he'll play right tackle for now, and they'll just try to either trade for someone. Look, New England is always shrewd with trading, but we've seen in the first couple of weeks of preseason, there's no depth in NFL offensive lines. I don't even know who they would possibly trade for, nor would a team, I think, want to trade any of their depth. We saw with the Trent Brown trade, the Niners drafted Mike McGlinchey to play tackle, so they had a surplus of tackles, and Trent Brown does not fit at all what Kyle Shanahan wants to do on his offensive line. So it made sense for that guy to be traded. But otherwise, that's why you draft guys, that's why you bring free agents, and you hope you can get by and keep Tom Brady healthy. I think it's so impressive, even after seeing Nick Foles go down and Carson Wentz might not be back, just the longevity of Tom Brady and New England and just not getting hurt. He had that 1 year, but otherwise it's been healthy.
Well, you have an interesting theory as to how something like this happens with Isaiah Wynn and why we sometimes see offensive linemen hurt their ankles and feet, Achilles, etc. Geoff, I'll give you the floor on that.
Yeah, so it's obviously a hard theory to prove, but I've talked to a buddy of mine who was a trainer in the NFL for a long time about this, and he was playing a position of right tackle that he had not played his entire career. He'd been a left guard, left tackle in high school and in college, and he missed all of spring ball in New England because for a shoulder injury he was rehabbing. So he comes out during training camp, plays right tackle, and just getting used to the new body mechanisms of playing that position, I think, led to this. Now, is it a direct cause? No. But it's hard to switch positions up front. I had the same thing happen to me. I played right tackle, right guard my entire career. I played one game at left guard in 2013. Weirdly enough, against the Giants, I was in Kansas City. I get to New York. The right guard retires. I asked to play there. They tell me no. I play left guard. I just never got used to it, and then I injured my big toe, dislocated it, trying to anchor a bull rush at left guard like right guard. I switched my feet, which you're not supposed to do, obviously, but just ingrained in me for so long, for 8, 9, 10 years. Put my foot back, my toe pops out. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's a direct correlation there. It's a move I never would have done at right guard. I would have been fine over there. So it's unfortunate these happen, and the idea that offensive linemen can just switch sides and everything be okay is not easy. Donald Penn's trying to do it now in Oakland. They just said, hey, you've played 160 games in a row at left tackle, go play right tackle now. It's not that easy. He's played left tackle for 13, 15, 16 years now, including college. Put him at left tackle, put the rookie at right tackle for now.
Geoff Schwartz, 8 years in the NFL as an offensive lineman here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, what do you think of what Cleveland's doing at quarterback, Geoff?
Well, I don't know what they're doing in general as a team. I think in Hard Knocks typically shines a good light on your program and your organization. I don't think it shines a very good light on Hugh Jackson at all. I mean, they have no idea what they're doing. They rest guys their fourth day. Miles Garrett. They play Callaway the whole game as punishment. Todd Haley's openly bickering with Hugh over how they're handling practice time. He's not the only coach that's doing that. And then they announced Baker Mayfield's going to get no reps with the ones at all. We saw Sam Darnold get reps with the ones last night, and maybe McCown's a starter for the year, but at least we got to see Darnold with the ones against the one defense of the Redskins. Josh Rosen's going to get reps with the ones because his offensive line is so poor with the twos. Guys see guys with the ones. And the Browns are just like, oh, no, we're good. First pick overall, who cares? We don't need reps with the ones. And look, last year with Alex Smith and Pat Mahomes, that's what they're trying to have this be. But the Chiefs were in the playoff hunt. They won the division last year. The Browns are not winning a division. You drafted Baker Mayfield to play him. Tyrod Taylor is a big boy. He understands the situation. You don't have to sugarcoat things for him. But to not to not give your number one pick, who looks like he is ready to take reps with the ones at all in training camp, this is malpractice. What happens when you're 0-2 after playing the Saints and the Steelers in the weeks 1 and 2? They're flipped, but 1 and 2, and you're 0-2, and fans are calling for your head, and you put Baker Mayfield in. Well, he's practiced none at all with any of the ones whatsoever. It just makes no sense to me.
Well, they're talking about maybe putting Drew Stanton in there instead, Geoff.
So it's just you're in the position to draft a number one quarterback because you suck at quarterback. That's why you're 1 in 31 the last 2 years. You need a quarterback, and he looks like he is ready to play. I understand if he is really far off, like maybe Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson don't look quite ready yet. Even Josh Rosen after his first game didn't look quite ready yet, but he looks ready to play. And Tyrod Taylor is not the future. You don't have to be nice to him. I understand it. Look, you want to be nice to this guy. He seems like a great guy and a great leader. But you traded for him, and he's got 1 year left on his deal. Play the guy you drafted if he's ready to play. You have a good offensive line. You have weapons. There's no concern to me as far as injury or lack of development because of the skill players around him.
Well, Geoff Schwartz, what do you think about what the Jets are doing? You mentioned, obviously, you see Darnold with the ones. You mentioned McCown may be the starter. What about Bridgewater? I mean, he looked great. I think Darnold should be the guy week 1. And Bridgewater would be in the position of understanding or maybe traded to a spot that could use him. What do you think about the Jets quarterback scenario here, Geoff?
I think Bridgewater obviously played well last night. It was really funny. I fell asleep before the end of that game last night, and I woke up this morning, and you would have thought Bridgewater had won the Super Bowl, and people tweeting out that whoever's going to sign him is going to go 12-4. Like, he played well. Fourth quarter preseason game. I think that a team is going to trade for him 100%. I think that with McCown's contract, $5 million guaranteed, he's staying. Sam Darnold will start. And look, there's teams around the NFL. Look at the Eagles. If people are talking about Foles' shoulder being more serious than thought, Carson Wentz is not ready to play yet. Trade for Bridgewater. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that could use Bridgewater as a backup if your starter is prone to injuries or just in general. I think that he is when Bridgewater was healthy before his injury, he led the Vikings to a playoff. He looks like he's back healthy now. Took a vicious hit last night to his legs, bounced back, played well. So I think he's a great, excellent trade partner for someone who needs a really viable option number 2.
Well, that would be somewhat ironic if Bridgewater, whose knee injury was the one that created the Sam Bradford need in Philly that led to the Carson Wentz ascension and a Super Bowl run that Nick Foles finished off, that if Wentz and Foles aren't ready, it's Bridgewater who's the one who's acquired. That would be quite a ribbon on that story. Now, interesting, you mentioned about the vicious hit that Bridgewater took to his knees. It looked like one of those late hits, roughing the passer, wasn't called. We have seen some inconsistency from the officials preseason. It's preseason for them as well. Where do you stand on the helmet rule here so far, Geoff, what we've seen through a week and a half?
The call last night, I think the call last night, they determined that he was pushed into the back of his legs. It looked like that could have been the case by the left tackle. That's tough to obviously determine full speed. Look, the helmet rule, there was one egregiously bad call last night. I think the rest of them have been pretty generally where it's going to be at. Here's the deal. Every year there's a new rule, a new emphasis. It gets overcalled in the preseason. A couple years ago, hands to the face was the big thing. And my brother got placed with the Chiefs, got flagged 2 or 3 times in one game, the first game. There were 5 to 7 calls a game in the preseason for hands to the face. As soon as the season started, there were none because the refs adjust. It's their preseason too. And the one thing that worries me about this rule more than anything else, and it's been applied, I think, properly most of the time, is the runner lowering himself. So runners are taught to protect their knees by lowering themselves, and obviously when you lower your shoulders, your head goes with it. And if a safety is going to make a tackle with your legs and you hit helmet to helmet because you lowered yourself, I don't think that's fair to the defender to call that. And this is why I'm against adding more replay, but I think you might have to review these. I don't know how else to do that because otherwise it's never going to be calling the running back probably, or the runner, I should say. And these safeties and linebackers are going to keep getting this called on them, and it's not fair. Now, some of these are legit when a guy launches himself into a helmet, and we see those happening. And those are like, okay, this is the hit we want out of the game. But those hits, I think, we don't want out of the game. That's part of what's happening. And otherwise, I don't know how defenders will tackle guys.
Geoff, thanks for the call. Certainly on the day right before Shabbos. Thank you for the call. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good. Let's chat again real soon, Geoff. Really enjoyed it, as always.
Take care, Rich.
You got it. That's Geoff Schwartz at Geoff Schwartz.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.